So, James Wiseman. Listen, I know this is a polarizing subject amongst the fan base, and I'm poking at him all the time. And the kid is likable. Have you seen him in interviews? Like, he says all the right things. He seems like a really good dude who wants it. But that's not always how things work out, right? And the fan base, there's a portion of Dubnation that wants to place the majority of blame on the coaching staff for the lack of Wiseman's development, Steve Kerr in particular. Now, I'll acknowledge the fact that they're certainly not doing him any favors offensively, right? It's like, why does he play with his back to the basket? He seems like he likes to shoot and play from the perimeter. They're not letting him do that. They're trying to fit him into the system role that the centers we've had in the past. I understand that, but at the same time, the pushback, if you were to talk to probably someone on the coaching staff, you'd say, yeah, that system just hung 4 banners. So no, we're not shifting the system for James Wiseman, who doesn't know how to play basketball yet. So I understand that argument as well, but I am here to acknowledge they're certainly not helping him out offensively. Now, the other part of this is just the overall minutes and opportunities. And I'm guilty of this myself, right? Where there's certain games where it's out of reach or it's just been ugly. It's not working well. Why not give them a little more opportunity in 25, 30 minute, bigger chunks of time? Because all we keep hearing also being spewed from the organization is he just needs experience. You just got to give him time. And so if you're not giving him the time, then that's part of holding him back developmentally, right? And I think what happened last night in New York was it was crystal clear to me. It was crystal clear to me what's happening. And I think what a portion of Dubnation has to recognize is the truth of the matter is the Warriors aren't holding Wiseman back. They're hiding him. They're hiding James Wiseman right now. That's the truth of the matter. And it just started to make sense to me last night. Like, oh, that's why Kerr, he'll let him play like 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, right? These little bursts where it doesn't become this snowball effect, because you watched him play that entire fourth quarter last night and it just got worse and worse and worse. And he was just exposed, right? Now, the title of this video, right? It's provocative. I got to get the clicks. But hey, it's not clickbait. We're talking about it. And I'm going to tell you what they're not telling you about James Wiseman. I think we all know he's struggling and he's not ready. And that's the other part of the divide between the fan base, right? Like, it's not that he's never going to be good. It's he ain't going to be good in time for Steph Curry. That's what we need to communicate here, Dubnation. He ain't going to be good enough in time. That's the problem. Now, the other disconnect between the fan base is, hey, you can't trade him now. I asked it in the last video, right? And a lot of people are like, no, I'm not giving up on him. You can't trade him. Why would you sell low, right? You can't do that now. And I'm kind of taken back by how many people honestly feel that way, right? But then again, maybe they're just looking more long-term. We have to look at Steph's window. That's a discussion for another time, but it all fits together here, right? And it's say, well, what could you get back for him? What value? And you make these discussions. You're not going to get much back for him. What if I were to tell you, you had to attach something to Wiseman to trade him, right? What if it would literally be a salary dump? What if that is the issue? What if the Warriors internally, like, they know, they're like, yeah, they've been trying to trade him, and his value is so low with that second pick contract that we'd have to attach a draft pick or attach Moses Moody just to move him. Never mind bringing something back in value. And so now they're stuck trying to use him as a backup center. I think that is more likely than you would consider. And again, it's all subjective in value and who knows what. And you'd imagine there'd be a team out there that'd be like, all right, well, we're tanking anyway. We'll take a swing on him. After last night's performance, I'm not so sure, man. Like, that was brutal. That was brutal. And it just got worse and worse, right? And again, I feel like I'm echoing myself over and over again, but the rebounds and the defense, and it's just late. And it's frustrating to watch, man. So yeah, I don't know. Change needs to happen, right? We understand they're heavily depleted right now, but the reality is when you roll out Clay and Jordan Poole for 35 plus minutes in a game, you're not going to be a good defense. Not with the mental errors that those two have. They're like Dumb and Dumber out there defensively. And that's not the right term because they're not dumb. It's that they're not disciplined. They don't have mental stamina to stay engaged. There's just too many brain farts and too many undisciplined plays on the perimeter, which is certainly not helping Wiseman when he's in there as well. I acknowledge that. But, ultimately, I don't know. I don't know what value he has. I don't know what they can get. It might be just to dump his salary and open up a roster spot for a buyout at this point. I don't know, man. Now, some of you may say, I see what you're doing out. Alchemy jinx tonight in Brooklyn. Wiseman is going to go for 20 and 10. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. It's tough, man. And again, I'm not rooting against the kid. Why? Think about this. This is my job covering the Warriors. Why would I want Wiseman to be a bust? It's not good for business. So believe me, I've wanted and I've tried to be optimistic. There's times I think you guys, the majority of you know how I feel about him, right? But there's times when he does set a good screen or when he does something quick. Yeah, I want to point it out. I do want him to succeed. But at this point, it's tough. And it feels like Kerr is almost trying to send a message here by just letting him drown out there offensively. So tonight, back end of a back-to-back, no Clay, which may help things. Let's just keep it a buck. That may help. More Kuminga, right? Kuminga has just been the major silver lining with these young guys. But hey, roll Wiseman out there for 30 minutes if he doesn't foul out, and let's see if maybe maybe fatigue would help him. That sounds silly, right? But if he's overthinking and he's hesitant, right? If he gets a little more fatigued with heavier minutes, maybe he can just start reacting and making some basketball plays. But last night, man, Hartenstein just draped his shit all over him late. It was it was bad, man. It was bad. So yeah, this is going to be a rough road trip. The Christmas Day game, you expect them to show up. Is Wiggins what's with the Wiggins timeline? It's getting a little spooky now, right? It's a little spooky. It was oh, why even bring him on the road trip? Did he have a setback? I guess we won't know because there's not exactly transparency coming out of the organization. But that Christmas Day game, I know we all want to at least make it competitive. You don't want to get embarrassed in that spotlight against Ja in that team. But hopefully a couple days rest, Wiggins back, and there's no immediate answers because, I had been searching for, the names I'd been throwing out for the Wiseman deals. I thought I was being modest. Some people are like, oh, that's not good enough value. That's not a good enough value for James. You really think he has value right now? It's tough, man. It's tough. Anyway, hold your breath. Hold your breath. It's going to be rough tonight again. Hopefully we can get 30 plus minutes of Kuminga and maybe he can get our spirits up with a spirited performance against Durant and this surging Nets team. As always, hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, Joe.